What if, instead of buying someone else's dream home, you had the opportunity to build your own? Well, welcome to 5221 Sandy Shores Court in Stonecrest, Georgia. My name is Carl Hall with Hall's Homes and Century 21 Connect Realty, and boy do I have a treat for you today. This is 2 acres, just over 2 acres of wooded raw land that backs up to Kelly Lake. So as we drive through Sandstone Estates, you'll start to notice pretty quickly that this isn't a neighborhood of small cookie cutter homes. These are well-established custom homes. You can tell by look at the mature landscape, look at the large home sites, look at the setbacks. This is a really nice neighborhood. There's so much character and establishment in a neighborhood like this, and something like that is extremely important when you're going to purchase land. You want to make sure your surrounding area is kept up, it looks good, there's pride of home ownership, and you see that here. Now we're arriving at the property. The parcel contains approximately 89,298 square feet, or just over 2 acres. The property report identifies as R100 residential zoning. So the property dimensions are roughly 206 feet across one end of the parcel. That's the front end. And then on the back end, you're looking at about 201 feet. And then on both sides, you're looking at 440 feet. And when you're standing here right in front of it at street level, that scale becomes much easier to appreciate. So as I walk along the front of the property, imagine the area eventually become the entrance to a custom residence. The property is deep enough to have a nice long driveway to where you're a ways away from the main street, and you have that privacy that you build in. So one thing that really attracted me to this lot, you can find a lot and you can build a large home around Metro Atlanta area, but to find enough privacy around that home, enough land for that privacy, that's a totally different proposition right there. And that's where Sandy Shores Court really becomes interesting. So we take the drone up, and from above, you really can see the amount of tree coverage that you have there on the property. That's going to create that extra privacy that you want. You could preserve trees to the left, trees to the right, some in the back. That way you can be totally secluded. You could have your property completely engulfed in the trees if you want. And then we move to the rear of the property. That's where you're going to discover what I think is the most compelling characteristic. You got Kelly Lake right there. Imagine designing the rear of your home around that view. You got large windows, an outdoor living area, a covered terrace, maybe even a pool. And this view really puts everything together for me. Look at the size of the surrounding residences. Look at the trees. Look at the separation, okay? Look at the lake. And then look at the undeveloped parcel sitting right in the middle of it. That's why I don't view 5221 Sandy Shores Court as simply 2 acres of vacant land in Lithonia. I view it as a custom estate home site. And this is where I really encourage you to use your imagination. Picture a substantial custom home positioned back from the street, a long driveway leading through the trees. Okay, you got a multi-car garage off to the left, large entertainment spaces, a backyard designed around the natural surroundings, outdoor living, a pool. You got access to Kelly Lake right there. So one major consideration that you can't see from the drone footage is going to be the soil. The seller has already had a soil test performed on the property, and we have the results. Everything looks a-okay. We can make all the documentation available for your review as soon as we're in due diligence. And so according to the information provided by the seller, the property can connect to publicly available utilities. You get to have your own private, secluded oasis right here in the hustling, bustling metropolis of Atlanta, okay? For someone who is considering a custom build, I think it's an important combination. Space without complete isolation. You can't go wrong with that. If you're interested in learning more about 5221 Sandy Shores Court, my name is Carl Hall with Hall's Homes, Century 21 Connect Realty. I'd be happy to help you go over any details you're looking for, any questions you may have, and I'm hoping that this becomes your future custom home. Thank you.